Hey guys, welcome back and all. If you guys are new here, my name is Jason. That didn't come out right. It's Jason here. There you go. I came out right this time. So today we are doing a more personal video that is close to me. So if you guys have anything to say it down in the comments and try to be nice because this is coming out of my heart. But you guys have been probably waiting for this for a while. I'm sorry I didn't get on it. I was trying to figure out how to do this one, and I haven't had a whole lot of work recently, so I just been playing Battlefield 4 a lot, trying to figure out how I'm going to put this together, so we'll see how this one goes. Hopefully it's not as long, but if it is, then we're just going to have to deal with it. Not sure if I'm going to put pictures in this one just because it's a little more personal, and I don't want to bombard you guys with any unnecessary photos that might be in this video or not. But yeah, nonetheless, let's get started. Sit back, relax. If you got something to eat, go ahead. If you're watching with your significant other, you know, why not? But we're going to talk about last year. College-wise. So you guys have heard that I am taking bio again, and I told you that there was a reason why I was taking it again, and the reason why was because I failed the class. Yeah, you saw that one coming, didn't you? Yeah. But yeah, I did. I failed the class. I had a whole lot going on with me, especially in March with that whole lockdown. That kind of screwed with my head and all, but there was more to it. There definitely is more to it, and I'm gonna take you guys all the way from last year, my first year in college, all the way back to when I was in I don't know, elementary or something like that, or preschool, depending how far I want to go. But yeah, last year I didn't really have any motivation for college. As you may or may not know, when I graduated high school, this is back in 2017, I know you 2018 people that are graduating soon, you guys are going to be like, oh my god, we're the best class ever, but 2017, man, that's where it hit the spot. You couldn't get any better than that. But anyways, yeah, so when I graduated high school, I thought to myself, you know, this is it, I won't have to go to school anymore, because initially, I didn't really see the reason to go to school yet. I wanted to, I don't know, maybe take like a year off like most people do, try to figure it out. I wasn't really in the mood for working because I don't know, I hadn't really gotten a real job at this point. It was only just recently I've gotten my first real job. It was back at my mom's place. I talked about this already. We inspect like computer motherboards and stuff like that, and see if they have any flaws. We run through a machine, and you know, it puts all the parts on, and then like we're with people at the line, and we have to see if the pieces are okay, and then we run them through the machine again, so like they you know, glue all the stuff on and whatnot. So yeah, that's kind of what my job was. I've already talked about that, but way before, you know, in those days, which honestly was like last summer, but I wasn't really in the working type mood. My intention was, for some reason, to stay home, play Xbox while I figured out how the hell to put my life together so I can, you know, get my right mood, my right mindset, you know, for college. Because, believe it or not, I actually wasn't really that, how do I put it, like book smart. People think that I am, but I had another way of doing things, so here we are, you know, high school. So I've talked about the situation with the first year of college. Before I go any further, I want to talk a little bit about bio. So I initially wanted to be a bio major because, you know, everyone else was doing it way back before that, you know, before I was even in Young Scholars. And, you know, this is when I was like maybe a 4th or 5th grade or whatnot. I got really serious into art, really wanted to do art. I wanted to make it into like sort of like my dream passion, a major, if you will, you know, like a actual profession where I can go and sell my art to websites and companies and whatnot, or maybe work for certain companies and design their logos, or, you know, in my case, you know, I really liked photography. I wasn't real photogenic at the time, but then I found, you know, the goodies of photography. The idea of looking into a lens and seeing, you know, the big picture being more than 1,000 words. The old saying that a picture can tell more than 1,000 words. It is true, depending on what type of picture you take. If you take it on an iPhone and you zoom in, it's all like pixelated, well then that 1,000 words is going to say a lot more than that pixelated blurry picture. It is what it is. So if you are serious about photography, I highly recommend getting a really good professional camera. Don't use whatever crappy phone camera technology that you're using already. So yeah, I'm completely off track, so I'm making myself together. But yeah, I got into biology just because everyone else was doing it, and Young Scholars was pretty much hammering home at the whole STEM or STEAM for those art majors. And then there's some people out there who say STEAM isn't really a real thing because art has no place in it, but I think that that's wrong. Art is the reason why we have a lot of things in life. You know, it's the reason why we have certain inventions, or why we have certain ideals and that type of stuff. Anyways, I went along with bio just because everyone was doing it, and I figured why not. I kind of like the outdoors, you know, I'm all about nature and that type of stuff. And it wasn't until my first year of college when I took the class and then I did the lab, and I was like, well, this isn't exactly what I want to do for the rest of my life. First of all, I found lab super duper boring. I mean, I couldn't even do anything. I had a lab partner. He was a junior. He had to take the class because he was kind of behind. I think he took all the other classes, but he needed Bio 211 for some reason. You know, I forgot what his major was, but it doesn't matter. We consulted him on what to do regarding labs and whatnot. Hold up real quick. Sorry guys, I'm back. My parents just came back from Goose Temple. Speaking of which, it is Cambodian New Year. I'm pretty sure it lasts for the entire weekend. Beats me. I never was really into these holidays, so I wouldn't know off the top of my head. Ask my parents, or anybody who's genuinely into the Cambodian culture. My god, my voice cracks so really bad. And well, it's, holy crap, it's raining outside. Okay, that was kind of random. But anyways, yeah, so we consulted this person on what to do for labs and stuff, because, you know, being that we actually had to do labs on our own for, you know, the first time in forever. You know, we haven't really done this. This is our first time doing so, and we're just like, oh shoot, what do we do? Like, none of us have any real idea. So yeah, that's part of what killed it. And then I don't think it was bio itself that made me want to quit bio. I think it was more the fact that it felt more like it felt like a micro grind. It felt like more like a grind, not a micro grind, like a major grind, like a grind that I knew I wasn't gonna like, a grind that I knew was gonna feel pretty tedious to say. Like, I wasn't gonna enjoy it. It was just gonna feel like a major headache every step of the way. And the fact that I have to take like a whole bunch of chem classes, which I don't like chem myself. I personally just don't like it. It's not my thing. Anthony, if you're watching this, I know chem is your thing, so I'm not trying to bash on your major, and I'm not trying to bash on any of the bio majors. You know, just because I completely quit out on bio doesn't mean that I'm saying that the bio major is bad. I have a deep respect for people who are bio majors, you know, and you guys know who you are. We're the type of people like, I'm a bio major and I'm always stressed out, and for some reason you guys act like the bio major is the only important major and every other major doesn't matter, even though there's plenty of business majors or theater majors or, you know, English majors or history majors that stress out a lot too. I know a friend who's a psych major. She has to go through a lot of hurdles and stuff like that in order to get her dream job. But yeah. Another thing that killed the passion for bio for me, again, it's not the class. I actually enjoy the class a lot more now that I'm taking it for like the second time. But going through high school, didn't really study a lot. Now, I'm going to talk about why I don't study a lot later on in this video, but in Bio 211 and in 212, I didn't really study at all, because, going into college, I didn't really have a clue on how to study, or I just didn't have the motivation to study. And funny thing is, after the first semester, I actually got through Bio 212 and Chem 212 with pretty decent grades. I think I had like a C. Yeah, I had a C in both classes, so it was pretty decent. But I had some early warning signs. I was like, hey, if I continue to do this, I don't think I'm going to do well. I should probably switch my majors. I had that, that sixth sense going off in my head, where it was like, hey, Jason, you should probably switch majors now, because it's probably not going to look good for you, because you have a C and your studying skills are not really there. But nonetheless, I pressed on with it, and the rest is history. But yeah, so that's also a part of it. The last part of it might have been the fact that I found out I had to take a whole bunch of chem classes, not chem majors. I don't have to be a chem major in order to take bio. But I found out I had to take a whole bunch of chem classes, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm not doing it, because I took Chem 212 and I was like, oh my god, this feels so, how do I put it, like, I got out of that class with like huge headaches. I was like, god, what's going on? I don't know what this professor's talking about. And I think just half the time I was on my phone. I never really got around to buying the book, because it was way too expensive and I couldn't rent it, because that's just how college works. You want to know what planned obsolescence is? College fucking textbooks, every year they come out with a new edition, but all they do is maybe change a couple of words, or maybe like a paragraph or two, and then they sell it to you for like an additional $100. It's not the freaking classes that are making people going bankrupt, it's those freaking textbooks. So, yeah. Hold up, guys, real quick. Alright, so guys, I'm back. My parents keep moving in and out over there, and I don't want them hearing what type of video I'm making, so yeah. Keeping this one on the download for a while, or whatever, I guarantee you a lot of people are going to talk about it, but it's okay. But yeah, that's a case of planned obsolescence. Those freaking textbooks, they change maybe like a couple words, and then they make an entire new book on it, and then they charge you an extra $100 for it on top of what it was originally, with the marked up price and whatnot. So yeah, remember, college kids, if for those who are going to college or who are already in college, rent your freaking books or just buy it at a cheaper price. I mean, or if you could, you can get like a freaking ebook for free, or you can go find like PDFs of whatever book you're trying to use. But yeah. What was I? Oh yeah, chem. So yeah, I didn't get the book, so I was completely lost. I couldn't do any of the practice questions that the professor was putting up on the board. He put up a list of like the practice problems we should do in order to get ready for the test, and I was like, yeah, I don't really have a book, so not doing it. Luckily I did pass with a what did I pass with? Oh yeah, I passed with a D+. Yeah. Good times, yeah. On top of whatever BS I was doing in bio. But yeah. That's last year for you. This year I'm doing a whole lot better. I don't have to take chem anymore, so that's that. I haven't really broke the word yet to my bio professor that I'm not really a bio major anymore. He still thinks that I'm a bio major, but I'll let that one sort itself out. But yeah, going back into high school. So I've said that, you know, young scholars kept hammering on the STEM thing, you know, science, technology, engineering, and math. My good friend Nang, he used to be really interested in the medical field, and then he did like an internship, and he was like, I didn't like it, so now he's doing mechanical engineering, which is pretty freaking cool, you know, awesome. You don't see too many people out there saying, I want to fix planes for a living, but yeah, go him. It's pretty cool. But anyways, yeah, so high school is a really weird time for me. So here's your hierarchy for high school. You have the really unpopular people, you know, the ones that nobody knows about, you know, maybe they're the really weird kids, or the kids like me who play a crap ton of video games and don't really go outside much. And then on top, you have your super duper popular people. They're your people with like your huge circle of friends. Maybe they dress nice, they got the latest iPhone, the latest fashion trend, you know, they have really nice cars and everyone's jealous of them. Maybe they've got that one guy or girl that they're hooked up with, and everyone's jealous because him or her are like really, how to put it, hot or handsome, and you know, they're the type of people that go out and party a lot, so everyone knows them. So yeah, you got your unknown people and your known people. So from about 9th to about 11th grade, I was pretty much in the unknown. No one knew me. I wasn't really the type of person that partied a lot. I also wasn't the type of person that a lot of people knew about. You know, I didn't have like a huge circle of friends, which, think about it now, might have been a really good idea, because half the friends I was with weren't really beneficial to me, you know, in terms of my goals and stuff. But yeah, so I hung out with some bad crowds, you know, it does happen. And I had my little circle of friends who nobody else knew about, except for maybe a handful. And then from 11th to about my last year of school, so, you know, 11th and 12th grade, voice cracks. Sorry guys. I'm sorry you guys have to keep hearing my voice cracks. It happens. I'm sorry. Like, what can I do at this point? I could keep chugging down water, but then I would have to go pee, and that would suck. But anyways, from 11th to 12th grade, and then I got like super popular. I went from here to up here. So by the time I graduated, everyone knew me. I was the guy who did YouTube videos. I did YouTube not that long ago. It was I created my channel around 2016. I started uploading around 2017, so my last year of high school. And you know, that's what propelled me to the somewhat super popular stage, you know. Come on guys, we need to get those views bumping again, because in high school, like, every time I made a video, some person, you know, one of my friends would go and find it, and he or she would show it to the entirety of their class, and then word would pass on. And yeah, unfortunately, that's, you know, you gotta do a little bit more in college. I haven't really got around to advertising yet, because, you know, I have to get it approved and yada yada, and I'm not about that. So, you know, I'm still at the word of mouth stage. You know, I'm still at the direct selling stage where I have to tell you that my video is out in person. And I'm trying to do this thing where I can tell people, but like simultaneously, and I don't have to be, you know, up in your face trying to tell you, hey, my video's out. So still trying to figure that one out. But yeah, I had a couple of friends, not gonna mention them because you guys know who you are. We're pretty close. You guys helped me get like really famous. You guys like completely gassed me up from like 11th to 12th grade. Again, you guys know who you are. But yeah, high school was a really weird sort of transition for me. In terms of classes, I can pretty much just BS my way through every single class. There really wasn't a huge emphasis on, hey, if you're gonna fail, there's some real big consequences. There really wasn't any real consequences, you know. Like, the idea was that, hey, if you did at least a chunk of your homework, you still get an A or whatever. Or if you were really behind, the teacher would shove you. They would shove at you like a whole bunch of extra credit that you could do, and I did it all, and that's how my grade ended up rebounding. So from like marking period 1 to marking period 2, it's like it was up high, and then it started out going super duper low, and then from marking period 3 to marking period 4, it went up again. So it's just like, you know, it goes down and it goes up, and that's how it was from basically middle to high school, and then maybe college. College, there really isn't too much of a fluctuation because you know if you do badly, you're gonna like tank, and yeah. And just mentally wise in high school, I really wish I'd done a lot more in high school. Like 9th grade, I wish I'd gotten onto the swim team earlier because I did it in 10th, and I felt like I was kind of too late because I was in varsity. You know, I didn't really go through JV because I didn't even know Donovan even had a swim team because no one talks about it. You know, there's not enough of that word of mouth advertising about the team. So I got on in 10th grade and made a bunch of really cool friends, most of which are in their junior or senior years of college, and they're going to be graduating soon, so that's cool. I took a break off from 11th because I had no idea what I was going to do. You know, I had a whole bunch of classes and that type of stuff. And it turns out that was a really bad idea. I really should have gotten onto the swim team because my academic improvement wasn't really a huge improvement anyways. So I have no idea exactly why I didn't do it in 11th grade. And then I got on 12th grade, and so glad I did it because I was actually pretty on top of my game in terms of academics in 12th grade, so I pretty much got A's all the way through, which was pretty freaking nice. But from 9th to 11th grade, my grades always fluctuated, and yeah, you know, I didn't really study. I would either just get the answers from somebody or find it online, which really, I mean, it'll get you the answers, but you're not going to know the concepts, and you guys know the situation. So yeah, I don't really need to go too far in depth with that. So let's take a moment and step from high school to middle school. Now I know this has been a pretty, it's a long time. I mean, what can I say? This was like what, 5-6 years ago. So we're going to step from high school, which was not that long ago, to middle school, which might be a long time ago for you guys, because, you know, it's like, it's so far away. This was like from, what? I forget when it was. It was like maybe, so I graduated middle school 2013, so 12, 11, so maybe this was like 2010, 2011-ish. So this is from 2011 to maybe, what, 2013? So yeah, that was like 3 years. So middle school, same thing, except a little more pronounced. Like I remember in 8th grade, I failed like every single one of my classes, and they still made me graduated, which I thought was pretty stupid. I thought maybe, you know, hey, you know, they should have just left me behind, you know, let me do 8th grade again so I can get my head together. But then again, that wouldn't sit well with my parents, so yeah. They were kind of just glad that I graduated. But in middle school, same deal. I didn't really study much, you know, lied and cheated my way through my academics. Oh, what do I want to say? Fun fact. In middle school, this is like my first time getting into trouble a lot, especially in middle school, because I was trying to be the cool kid, you know. Let's face it, guys and gals, everyone loves the bad guy. Everyone loves the guy that breaks the rules because, being a good person, that's rewarding in the end, but, personality-wise, it's just flat. They were boring. They're doing the same thing over and over again. You're like someone that's willing to take a chance, break the rules and stuff, go wild and free, We're only here now and not for a long time, so hey, why the heck not? And, middle school is usually when the experimental stage happens. This is when people start to question their sexuality. This is when people start becoming really sexually active. This is also the time when people start partying more. Drinking and smoking was a big thing in middle school. And then high school just kind of takes off from there because, now you can drive, and now if you got a job, now you can pay for the amount of shitty weed that you can buy. And, you can hit up your plug like, hey, I need some more alcohol, or whatever. For that Friday party that for some reason you still go to, even though you hate like half of the people there. But, I digress. But yeah, this is around the time when people start trying to they try to figure themselves out. And then, in high school, it's like usually the big test, like, hey, are you cool or are you not cool? In middle school, it's more like, hey, we know you're not cool, but I'm gonna help you get cool. So, from 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, my academics weren't that great. This is also around the time where I played like a lot of video games. I remember throughout my summers in middle school, I spent most of my time inside playing video games and stuff. Let me go get a drink of water so you don't have to hear me voice crack a lot. Alright guys, I'm back. Sorry, that voice crack was, I don't know, it was like the straw that broke the camel's back, and I'm like, okay, now I really need a drink of water. But yeah. So again, middle school was kind of a weird time for me. I played a lot of video games. I was never really outside much. My parents tried to push me to go outside more, but I wasn't about it because, Call of Duty was kind of my thing. This is my way of having fun and dealing with the issues in middle school. Bullying in middle school was definitely a big thing. It kind of was a big thing in high school too, but once you got older, it was less about making fun of people and more about, hey, what am I going to do for the rest of my life? That type of thing. The people that were bullying me in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, by the time they were in 12th grade, they've completely forgotten about me, or they were pretty much friends with me that, they've made up, and now they're like, hey, I'm going to go to University of Buffalo, or hey, I'm going to be a doctor, or hey, I'm going to, do this part-time job at McDonald's or whatnot, But in middle school, we weren't immediately thinking about our futures, unless you're like a person like my good old friend Molly. She's a super religious girl. She pretty much was thinking about her future from the get-go. She's a really nice person. I'm looking forward to the day that we can just meet up again. And, I know she's a coffee type of person. I'm starting to become a coffee type of person too. So, maybe we can just chillax and drink some coffee and whatnot and talk about the days and that type of stuff like us 20-year-olds do nowadays. But yeah, I almost, around this time I almost got into drinking and smoking. I wanted to be part of the cool crowd. I think this is around when smoking weed and especially vaping was really big around this time. Back then, for those people who are already in their 30s and whatnot, vaping's a relatively new thing. It just came out on the scene not that long ago. I think it was around middle school when it became a thing. It was starting to supplement. It was starting to supplant cigarettes. People all of a sudden found cigarettes not as cool, and they're like, "Hey, I want to vape," and stuff like that. So yeah. Need my drink of water just in case my throat starts acting up again. But yeah, so that was middle school. What else do I want to talk about? We're going to transition from middle school to elementary school. This is when the big changes started to happen. From middle school to high school, it was just a steady decline in my personality and character until I got to college, and I'm trying to fix it at the moment. But from, like, if we were to take a time machine and go back to my, early childhood days, you probably wouldn't recognize me. Like, I'm a completely different person now than I was back then, in terms of my personality and my willingness to do things and whatnot. So, in elementary, I was pretty popular. I'm not gonna lie. I was pretty popular just because I was really academically motivated, and I was pretty artistic as well, Everyone would line up and see me draw and whatnot, and especially in 4th grade, my drawing really started to take off. I was still doing stick figures, but I got really good at doing stick figures, so everyone gathered around like, hey, Jason, how do you draw like that? Or, hey, can I get one of your drawings and whatnot? So I made drawings for people, and this is around the time when I started to seriously think, like, what I really wanted to do. I was initially, like, I didn't really think about it at first. I didn't really think about it from, like, middle and high school, but I'm going to tell you why in just a second. But in elementary school, I was starting to think, like, maybe I want to be an artist, But, and this is the part where I'm going to get a whole lot of flack from my parents, so if they watch this, I know they're going to get pretty pissed off, but I don't care, it needs to be said. That's like more than half of my water gone already, and with the 30-minute mark, so guess this is gonna be a long one, guys. But yeah, I was academically motivated, I was artistically motivated too. I was always outside a lot, I would be outside with my friends. I had a friend who, I'm not gonna mention this person's name, but I was always over their house a lot. It wasn't until like 3rd grade where I said something really, really mean, and then they completely cut off the connection with me, and I was kind of left without any sort of, how do I put it, influential friends until like maybe like 4th or 5th grade. But yeah, that was like my first case of bullying. It sucks because now it's like I don't have any real close influential friends that I can just lean over on a shoulder to and stuff like that. But yeah, and I was always outside a lot. I was always at my cousin's house too, and I felt alive, I was playing video games a little bit. I mean, like, I was on the computer a lot, Computer was a relatively new thing at this point, especially at computer games, and I was always one of the curious people, so, I remember back when I was in Boys and Girls Club, yes, that was a thing, I was in it, shush. Why'd I blow my finger? I don't know, but I was in Boys and Girls Club. My parents put me in it because they were always at work a lot. I know my mom was working at ComMed. My dad, at the time before he became an accountant, he was working at the Sangertown Mall. There was a mall before Macy's. It was called Kaufman's. It's a really old place. It's basically, it functions the same way as Macy's. Just Macy's is a lot more successful than Kaufman's, and yeah. So, he was selling his shirts and ties and all before he became an accountant and whatnot. And, I didn't have a whole lot to do, so, because, it was just me, my brother, and my grandma, and that's it. It was just, yeah. And I was always at my cousin's house a lot, whenever I had to, and, I would just either play around and go to sleep. That was pretty much it for me. But, and then outside of that, I was always motivated to learn a little bit more about something. The funny thing is, nowadays, I don't really want to do any reading just because it's so boring and monotonous. It's like, damn, I could be playing Battlefield 4, but I gotta read this freaking book that I don't care for. When back then it was like, oh man, I didn't even, like, I would put off my homework and like completely do something else. I would be like, cracking open a book that I wouldn't even read until like high school. I was that one kid where like everyone was reading the freaking Caterpillar book, or like Dr. Seuss. Everyone was like reading Dr. Seuss, and I was in the back section of the library in Columbus Elementary. You know, for those people who went to school with me, you guys would know. But I was always in the back section of the library, and I was reading all these super sophisticated books and stuff like that. Like, I was reading a little bit about just everything, you know, from biology to chemistry and astronomy, and I was like, what do I want to be when I grow up? And then, you know, and then like just one day out of the blue, I picked up a book about, you know, drugs and whatnot, and I read up on that, and I was like, that's something I'll never do. Oh man, middle school pressure, gonna get you. But yeah, if you went back in time, I was a super motivated person, always willing to learn, always wanting to do something more. I was really into art, and it wasn't until my grandma passing away that it completely changed me. I no longer wanted to do the things that I normally wanted to do. I kind of became very distant with my parents. You know, we would always argue a lot, and I would always do something really stupid, and you know, that type of stuff. So I think it was like a big part of what made me who I am now, at least just in my opinion, me looking at it, was my grandma passing away. I know I can't really do anything about it now, and I'm not trying to pin the blame on her. She's gone through her own hardships, you know, coming here to America and not speaking a whole lot of English, and her being just really old in general. You know, it was bound to happen either way. It was gonna happen, if not sooner, then just later down the road, and it would have the same effect on me anyways. But I really do think a big part of what completely just caused the downfall of my academic and artistic and just everything else, all of that, you know, just motivation, like, my grandma's death really took a big hit on that. You know, I was always close to her. You know, whenever my dad told me to stop drawing or whatnot, because I know my sister's drawing now, and I know, like, they make, like, a whole bunch of crap and they just throw it everywhere. I was the type of person where I would, like, keep it all in the folder, and my dad was like, you need to find something, you know, real to do and whatnot. I know my brother, Cat Booster, he's doing art now. They really can't do anything about it now because he's already, you know, interested in it. He's already voiced his opinion. He already voiced his, he's like, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm doing art and you can't stop me. So they're like, okay, fine. Just know you're probably not gonna make a whole lot of money. And he's like, well, I don't care. You know, that's my passion. And see, that's the thing I wish I would have went with. I knew that, you know, despite the fact that I liked bio as a subject, you know, I liked art a whole lot more, and so I should have stuck with that. But, you know, my grandma's death made me stop doing that, and my parents, you know, were like, hey, you should probably not do art anymore, you know, do something real, do something worth your time or whatever. And I'm like, well, art is worth my time, but then they're like, you know, they don't listen, so they're like, hey, just go do something else more, you know, that'll make you money or whatnot. So, yeah. I know this is a, somewhat depressing video, and I'm really sorry for the voice cracks. I'm sorry. My, throat is like that. I don't know why, but, you know, I'm just gonna have to deal with it. So, yeah. I think that's it. Please don't feel sorry for me. This is just something I'm gonna have to go through on my own. You know, I'm working it out, trying to mend all of the hardships that I've created with my parents and everyone else around me. So, yeah. But so here's the summary of this video. I failed bio. Here's all the reasons that led up to it, and my grandma's death probably was one of the big causes. And yeah, that's it. So if you guys enjoyed this video, you know, please leave a like. If you're new, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to comment. You know, just whatever. You know, you can show support or not. It doesn't matter to me. I'm only making this video just so I can get it off my chest. And yeah, I wish I could have made this video a whole lot better, but I can't. So you're just gonna have to listen to me go back and forth with my thoughts and whatnot. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. I'll be doing a different video. I have no idea what I'm gonna do yet. I might do another Life is Strange video just because it's been a hot minute. And don't forget to how do I say it? Just subscribe and get me to 5K so I can get Josh Solano to make custom Urban Lost backpacks and, you know, type of mumbo jumbo. You've heard that spiel before. So yeah, this is probably a more how do I put it, personal video. I wanted to do it a bit differently. Like, I was gonna have like a whole bunch of notes like on my notebook or whatnot. Like, I was gonna like just go through the things I would have to say, but I figured, you know, if I just do it without a notebook and just, you know, from the get-go, it would feel a bit more you know, it wouldn't feel so forced. But yeah, I'll see you guys later.